Sometimes when you've got a tight deadline, you need that extra little bit of kind of oomph to get you across the finish line. Well, today I'm going to go down the list of my top 4 nootropics and stacks of 2020. They're all just here, out of shot. And heads up, some aren't without some controversy, but it's going to help you when you need it the most. Let's dive in. Work harder, run faster, think smarter. The hustle until you die culture is killing us. Millions are stressed and depressed. I was one of them. I went on a 90-day mission to biohack my way back to health. The result? My best-selling book Unstoppable, daily journal, an online program that's changed thousands of lives and is praised by athletes, psychologists, and doctors. And now, it's your turn to become unstoppable. Hey everyone, it's Ben Angel here. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you pre-order your copy of my brand new book, Mind Control, How to Biohack Your Mind, Body and Immune System with Nutritional Psychology and the Gut Microbiome. It is the anticipated follow-up to Unstoppable, the just won Best Self-Help Book of 2020 in the International Book Awards. And I also have some really exciting news. We're going to be releasing an updated and expanded edition of this award-winning book in the new year. So stay tuned for announcements. Now, this video is for those of you who really need to get some shit done right now. But before we dive in, there are a few things you should know first. Even though nootropics are smart drugs that aid with cognitive performance, they're not a substitute for a poor diet. And you've got to take a personalized approach to all of them. If you're new to nootropics, be sure to check out my last video, the 4 things you need to know before you take nootropics, up on my YouTube channel. Let's dive in to what's on my list of best nootropics for 2020. Number 1 is Find My Formula. This one I've only been testing the past couple of months. This one is interesting because it isn't just one nootropic. It's a mix of different nootropic stacks. It's also the most potent. So if you're new to nootropics and you don't have a good baseline of health, you're the defender or guardian identity type that I talk about in the Unstoppable book and journal, then this one isn't going to be for you. You're going to need to have an identity of a synergist or even a catalyst where you're relatively healthy, you're getting good sleep, and this is just to dial your focus in every now and then. Now, the way that this works is you take an online quiz that's quite extensive, and based on the online quiz, they're going to recommend a little pack of 4 different nootropics for you to test out over the course of the next month. You have 5 days on, 2 days off, then you try the next one. What I love about this one is that you also get this little booklet. Now, in this booklet, it goes through what you should do with the nootropics, the breakdown, it talks about cycling, also what happens after your first month of trialing the 4 different options that you have. And the other really cool thing is at the back of it, you also have a little journal where you write down your experience with the nootropics that you're having. Now, if you watched my last video, you know how important it is to track whether it's effective or not. Because I don't want you guys spending money on something if it's not working for you. This is all about personalization. These nootropics are potent and most definitely do need to be cycled. They contain Racetams and Peptides. All of the ingredients are actually in this book. If you want to learn more about them, it's findmyformula.com. And they also have a third party that tests for purity. Here's my scorecard for Find My Formula. I give these guys a 9 out of 10 due to the personalization, and you actually get to try 4 different types, and then through the journal, you can pick what you want to continue on with in the future, which is fantastic. How you may feel on them. 2 words, dialed in. Overall effectiveness, 10 out of 10, and here's why. I read and edited the new edition of Unstoppable, the draft, which is now 95,000 words, in 3 hours. I was at a cafe, I looked up after 3 hours, and I was pleasantly surprised because I by no means am a fast reader, but I had to get it done quickly to meet the deadline. One of the other good things about these is I haven't actually had any trouble sleeping at night. The sleep, particularly on the creativity formula, which is one of my personal favorites out of the 4 that I got, I slept even better at night, interestingly enough, even though I had quite an intense day of getting everything done. Drawbacks? Some of the different ones, you may have a little bit of trouble winding down at night. Now, the creativity, like I said, is great. The energy formula, I do find that it kind of takes me a little while to switch my brain off at night. A little side note, for those of you that struggle to get your cycling thoughts to actually calm down, lately, because we're working on 2 books right now, I've been putting an ice pack on my forehead and actually constrict some of the blood flow to your prefrontal cortex. And the other great thing about that is it kind of knocks you out and puts you to sleep pretty quickly. Just a side tip. Overall, this is great. Absolutely love this product. But as they say, you've got to find your formula, and I've got to give whoever designed the brand on these a 10 out of 10 for marketing, because they nailed it. They also nailed the customer experience. Number 2, Qualia Sleep. And this is one that I haven't covered before. Now, you will have heard me mention Qualia multiple times. It's one of, I think, you speak to any biohacker or people in the health space, they know what Qualia is because they use high quality supplements and products. They are more expensive, but you will have seen me cover Qualia Mind previously. They've also recently added Qualia Immune to it, which I'm doing whatever I can to boost my immune system right now. If you're anything like me, you've got a lot of things that you've got to get done. Getting sick could completely derail what you need to get done. And 2020 has already been enough of a dumpster fire. You want to look after your health right now. But the one that actually comes up on this list is the sleep. So why am I covering a sleep supplement in a best of 2020 Nootropic video? Well, sleep is one of the foundational pillars for cognitive function. It's also one of the first places that you've got to begin. This one is interesting. It isn't designed to sedate you like melatonin does, so you're not going to feel groggy the next day. Now, a little inside information, when a company sends me some nootropics or supplements to try, I try not to do any real research on what they're actually designed to do. So I can see for myself, how do I feel differently a week or a few weeks after taking them without really having the placebo effect? It's really hard not to have a placebo effect. It's kind of the best that you can do when you're trialing new products. This one is designed to promote GABA. It balances cortisol levels, enhances BDNF, and you want to think of BDNF as brain-derived nootropic factor as a fertilizer for your brain. This one, initially, I didn't feel like it was working, so the scorecard rating, I give it a 9 out of 10. It wasn't until a week later after I was taking it that I started waking up feeling more refreshed and immediately alert. I wanted to jump out on my balcony, do my workout. And that's what happens with sometimes when you're taking nootropics. And even though this is a sleep nighttime formula, this is still classed as a nootropic. You still need to take a couple of days off because it also contains L-theanine, which you need a break from every now and then. One other thing that I actually noticed with this one is that for whatever reason, this one was also more effective for me personally by taking half a dose. And you take it a few hours before you actually go to bed, so probably around dinner time is your best bet. How you may feel on it. You're gonna feel like you had a good night's sleep. And one of our team members is also currently on it. He noticed that when he stopped taking it, he just felt a bit off. He felt a bit funky, like something wasn't right. So he's just reintroduced it. Overall effectiveness, 10 out of 10, but you need to give it time to feel the benefits and you want to play with the dosage. Some of the drawbacks. Well, the main drawback here is price. Let's be real, Qualia isn't cheap, but they're also a quality brand. Now, you can get an introductory offer of $39. Hopefully it's still up on the website. But if you're not sleeping well right now, I'd recommend something like this as your first step over Find My Formula. Get the foundational pillar right before you start looking at the others. Number 3, Ketone Ester by HVMN. Now, you've heard me mention Ketone Ester by these guys several times, and if you haven't checked out the full interview I did with Jeff on my YouTube channel, be sure to check it out. Now, Ketone Ester is an interesting product that when you drink it, you will literally enter a state of ketosis within 30 minutes. It acts incredibly quickly, and I have done the pinprick blood test before and after to be able to test it. This product is more suited to athletes or even public speakers when you really only are as good as your very last performance. The scorecard for this one, I give it a 10 out of 10. Now, if you're already a peak performer, this one may overstimulate you, so you might want to start on a lower dose. How you may feel on it, you're going to be wide awake and dialed in, but without anxiety, because sometimes with caffeine, which is of course a psychoactive substance, it can not just elevate you cognitively, but because your heart starts racing, your brain may interpret that as anxiety, you get the jitters, and suddenly you're not as mentally functional as what you need to be. Overall effectiveness, 10 out of 10, you will feel this. You will seriously feel this one very quickly. And if you know exactly what it feels like when you enter ketosis and you hit a level of ketones that your brain just suddenly lights up like a Christmas tree, then you're going to know what this product does already. This is keto in a bottle. Drawbacks. Now, this is a big one. This is super expensive. It's $33 per serving. Yep, $33 per serving. So I do recommend it for athletes, like I said, public speakers, where you need to be really dialed in. When you do it for the first time, I would suggest the Keto Mojo device, where you can do the pinprick blood test to see what your ketones are before and after. And you want to start on half a dose. Otherwise, you may find that you're not going to sleep that night. I took it for a presentation one day, probably at 10 a.m. in the morning. I did not sleep until 2 a.m. the next day, which was a little bit of a shocker. And then obviously my body had to catch up and kind of overcorrect and make sure I get my rest after that. So start on a lower dosage. If you're already in ketosis, this isn't one you need. Number 4, nicotine patches, not the gum and not the spray. So the smart drug nicotine isn't without controversy. Nicotine, although is being currently analyzed for possible therapeutic benefits for a host of issues ranging from Alzheimer's and Parkinson's to ADHD, schizophrenia, and even obesity. This isn't one to be immediately dismissed. Now, while nicotine is addictive, many scientists also question whether it can be safe in smaller daily doses, and most importantly, controlled doses. It does tend to get a bad rap from its association with cigarettes. Heads up, I've never smoked. Now, when it comes to nicotine, this one ingredient is separated out from the 5,000 plus other chemicals in a cigarette. The research is surprisingly positive, as seen in some of these results. First up, it can help you to be more vigilant. For example, nicotine patches allow some people to focus longer on a mentally exhausting task. People who took nicotine had better memory recall of a list or words, which is incredibly useful. Nicotine sharpens short-term memory. It heightens your ability to pay attention. It speeds up your reaction time. And a handy one, it also suppresses appetite. Let me be clear though. I do not recommend the gum, and I no longer recommend the spray that you put under your tongue, because when you have the gum or the spray, you're going to get a strong physiological surprise that could lead to addiction. I actually prefer the patches every now and then, but when you open them up, I just cut them down into smaller sizes. So throughout the day, I might only be having 4 milligrams compared to a smoker who might be having 40 milligrams plus per day. The only way to control it, I find, is through the patches. Heads up, you are going to start seeing a brand called Lucy Nicotine Gum pop up in biohacking circles. Full disclosure, they reached out to me for a collaboration, which I didn't respond to, simply because You want to minimize the potential for addiction by controlling the dosage. The only way I've been able to do that to date is through the patches. Put it on, forget about it. There's no craving. And because it's such a small dosage of around 4 milligrams, I don't find myself missing it if I have a day or 2 days off of it, which is a great way to control it. Scorecard. I give this 7 out of 10, how you may feel on it. You're going to definitely feel alert and focused if you've never had nicotine before. Overall effectiveness, 10 out of 10. Drawbacks, and obviously this is a big one. It is possibly addictive. You want to start with a smaller dose, such as the 4 milligrams, but you're going to have to cut up the patch. This is significantly less than, like I said, the 30 plus milligrams of nicotine smokers or vapors consume daily. It's also controlled. There you have it. They're my top nootropics for 2020. They're a phenomenal tool to have in your arsenal, but you need to remember they are not a substitute for a poor diet. So get your diet in order first and focus on naturally derived nootropics like L-tyrosine, L-theanine, and ashwagandha while you're transitioning to maybe try out some of these other ones. You can learn more about nootropics in the upgraded edition of Unstoppable when it lands this new year, and make sure you pre-order a copy of the anticipated follow-up to Unstoppable, Mind Control, which is actually going to drop at the same time. I think I may be a little bit crazy of releasing 2 books at the same time. Now, seeing as though we're on the topic of enhancing mental cognition to help improve memory, focus, and energy, in the next video, I'm going to be sharing with you my top brain training wearables for 2020. This is a fascinating one. I'll see you then. Take care.